Hang on 2 seconds. Hi, Matilda. So this is Matilda. She always comes to me, always. Beep, 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 beep. Come on out. I've unfolded the chair. No danger. So I am dressed in mourning. In the morning. I'm dressed in mourning. It's actually no laughing matter. I'm having my cup of coffee this morning in the chicken coop with my chickens. And the reason for this really interesting setup, it's a Sunday. It's not my usual recording day. Odie is out and about. Aren't you, Odie? You don't know anything that's gonna happen, do you? And neither do these girls. So first, this morning already, my fingers are wrinkled. My nails are disgusting. They look like a farmer's nails. Actually, look at that. Looks like a farmer's nails, yes. Because this morning and yesterday night, we realized that one of our chickens had a prolapse vent, which is quite distressing, to be honest with you. And I can't even show you because I think YouTube would have a conniption. You know, free speech and all. I mean, I just can't show you. And what it looks like is it looks like she's got an egg in that pouchy area. And I have tried to do what a lot of YouTubers are suggesting to do, which is trying to help her basically birth the egg, and it doesn't seem to be coming. But the egg seems so soft, it doesn't even seem like an egg. Cover your ears, but I even shoved my finger down there, which was horrifying for me. But I realized if I want to do this, and this is to everyone that thinks they're pretty self-reliant, like if you go to the store and make your own food at home, yeah, to some degree you are. I thought I was as well. But when you want to do it all on your own, when you want to have your own eggs, there are some complications that happen. And the complications are more than traffic and more than maybe not having the money, save for better food. But there's complications like having an egg-bound chicken. Or last year I had a water belly chicken. And that was devastating because I lost the chicken. And the year before, I lost 2 chickens to a fox because there's competition. There is competition. And I might even argue that we have been given fake competition, which is more or less if you can outrun the other humans around you. But there is real competition where you're outrunning nature, outrunning predators, outrunning the very things around you that want what you have, which is, you know, your chickens. Foxes like chickens. But the reason for my very somber outfit is I want to talk to you guys about chickens don't like being petted. Like, they don't like this kind of action. I don't know why. They don't mind this underneath their belly, but they do not like being pet like a cat, which always makes me want to train them to do it, but it doesn't seem to work. But back to why I'm here in a black outfit, because essentially today I will be deciding the fate of one of my roosters. I have an abundance of roosters. I have too many, and it has proven to not work. I wanted to make it work. The crows are actually teaching their babies how to fly, so they've been very loud. I apologize. But today, being responsible for a minor, tiny, mini homestead, which it's not a homestead, I've just got chickens. You have to make decisions on your herds, and some decisions are very hard. I knew that we had a higher ratio of roosters, but I wanted to see if it would work. I wanted to see if the ratio would work, and unfortunately it has not. My hens, the producers, the females of the herd, females like me and my herd, are the producers. And the producers, in many aspects, have a higher value on a homestead. So, in any animal, I would argue, in most animals, I would argue that the female has the more important stage, because the female procreates the next generation, and generally is the producer, whether it be it of milk or whether, in my case, eggs, whether it's a duck, whether it's a hen. They have the production requirement that is needed in order to continue the herd, in order to produce the milk, the eggs, and therefore they are the most important. Even though I will say that just like in humans, the males are the dominant. Now that is changing, of course, in the human animal, because it is by nature the way that it is, but now nature is being nurtured out of us, let's call it. It's being verbally manipulated out of us. It is being socially designed out of us. It is being manipulated in ways that we are unable to, for the most part, notice. Chickens are a baseline for me. Just like I said in one of my other videos, that they are a gateway animal, because they are rather easy to be successful in. Like if you start with a goat, well, you can have some major complications with that. And if you don't know what you're doing, which is exactly where I'm at, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just learning as I go, because that's the real education, not getting a piece of paper. I digress. This little ecosystem has taught me that the males are so aggressive that they're actually destroying my herd. And my ladies are very stressed, And my ladies are having things happen to them that I shouldn't be worrying about, because these are really rather young ladies. So I'm not going to be chasing them, because I'm just not going to do that. But my ladies are very beaten up, like especially the little ones. The white ones are the smallest breed that I have, and those ones particularly are literally plucked to practically nakedness in the back, and I don't want that, because that they don't have feathers. They can be cooler, they can be cold really quickly, they can probably get infection because scratches happen. When they don't have their feathers to protect them, they get scratched on their skin very easily. And I try to keep as clean of a coop as I can, but, and I have, there's a bath you can't see here, there's a bath, there's roosts behind you, there is water in tires because they used to flip the damn water. And I want the water to be accessible. I don't want all of these feeders in Canada. It is just, it's kind of silly to invest in those things, because in the winter you can't use them, and I have 6 months of winter. So I'm trying to, my wonderful neighbor just gave me old ladders, which I'm so thrilled about, because I'm going to be incorporating them in the coop, because I'm going to be making bigger roosts that can go all the way up to the up there, whatever that's called again. I can't remember what it's called. Howdy! And so I'm going to be still upgrading this. This is just a work in progress. I mean, we've just really this year started finalizing. I still have to paint this whole thing, because here the weather is very extreme. It's very hard on the wood, on the surfaces, on your skin. It's very difficult. So you really do have to make a big effort to try to really protect everything from the weather. Mother Nature is a competing factor in our life. One that we really don't consider when we live in the city. And believe me, I'm still a cityite. I am trying to work my way out of being a cityite, but being a cityite really means you're depending on the city, and the city is the system. So really, yeah, see that one that's clocking right now, if you saw her back, it looks painful. So back to my funeral outfit. I'm very sad to say that I have the job of being the shepherd, as it were, metaphorically. And I must decide who will stay and who will go. And that really, because I've known I've had to do this for about a week. And now with my girl that has a prolapse vent, which I can't seem to keep inside, which I can't seem to fix, she must either fix herself, which I don't think will happen, because I've tried for 2 days. This is the second day. I will continue until today, till tonight, to see. She's right now inside the little coop hospital, staying warm and being fed and having no stress, not having to worry about, having the gang of roosters get on her. But as a shepherd, it is my job right now to decide who will live and who will not. And because I think I'm not a psychopath, or at least they haven't altered me in such a way where I take joy in it, or it doesn't affect me in any way, I am mourning this decision making. I am mourning the fact that I will have to decide which one of these roosters is going. And if we stay a little bit on track, or if I try to stay on track in sort of logical thinking, this is on a micro level. And on a micro level, I understand that I must look for the most aggressive rooster, because the most aggressive rooster they each have their little clique of girls, and then what happens is the most aggressive rooster seems to attack all the other roosters, which creates a very hostile environment for, well, everybody in the coop. And then so when I was thinking about this all week, I was thinking to myself, isn't that interesting? Because that is kind of the same logic that I believe we live under. We live under our own shepherd owners who also have their own cliques. I would argue those are countries or like continents or countries. I don't even know how it's broken up to be exactly, because it's like really hard to figure out who owns the world when the owners are invisible, because it is in their best interest to be invisible, because if we found out who they were, well, even though it would be very difficult to win that kind of battle, I think we as humans, it's in our nature to try to save ourselves. So it's not like in my coop where my herd of hens or my flock of hens know who their owner is. They believe I'm the good guy, and I am to a point, because eventually my flock becomes my food. Eventually I take their eggs, which would have been their children. And as horrifying as that is to say out loud, those are the facts, ladies and gentlemen. Every time that you eat an egg, you are eating a bird's potential next generation. And if you want to have a happy, healthy flock, coop, area for them to be in, you must pay attention to the dynamic of the coop. And as a result, you must manipulate that dynamic in order for it to suit your needs. And see, in my case, my needs are to make my girls as happy as possible. And see, these are happy hens because I'm here, and the roosters are actually scared of me. And the hens are scared of the roosters. So if we put that into context of humanity, I have realized that it is very simple the way that they organize us. They organize us like a hen house. And depending on the need of the hen house, like for example, let's say my need was to have babies and I wasn't collecting eggs for satiating what we need to survive, and I needed to create more babies. The roosters would become then a lot more important. And I would argue that who would stay and who would go would maybe ratio out differently. Maybe not. But I would also argue that having an aggressive animal in your farm, homestead, in your flock is also harder to manage. And when you have an aggressor within your flock or your herd, generally you equalize that. Generally you are going to take care of it, or you're going to isolate that said aggressor. The most, I guess, desired outcome of any homestead, herd, animals that you keep, whether it's human animals or bird animals or hooved animals, you are always, as a person that is running a farm, homestead, or any kind of livestock, looking to find the most efficient way of operating that you can manage. And I would argue that if you look at that scenario and you look at the fact that I am going to now manipulate the way that this flock runs because I got too many roosters, and I didn't order them actually. Backstory, I was the very last person to pick up baby birds, and whatever extras were left over from all the other people picking them up, I got them. And I happened to get extra roosters because I didn't order extra roosters. I ordered the right amount of roosters for the right amount of chickens, but I ordered total 50 chickens total, including the roosters, which I included. I think I asked for 4 roosters. I might have asked for 1 extra just in case of a die-off, because I understood that, you could, have some, lose some. But I got 61 chickens. 1 died while I was raising them. I only had 1 loss. But I ended up with 6 roosters as a result. So because I tried to make it work, it was to the detriment of my girls. And I have to now have this situation where I am learning that this is what has to be done in order for me to have this functioning the way I want to see it functioning. This could stay. I mean, this could stay. It's just going to create problems here in this coop, in this environment. So when I look at people and I look at our shepherds, they're doing the very same thing. They are actively calling the roosters of our society. And they're doing it in very interesting and subtle ways. And the soft stuff is the hard stuff, really, isn't it? They are turning some of our men into not men. I'll let you decide what that means. They are taking the man's reason for existing. They have turned woman against men, and they've given women so much power, unequaled power to some degree. And listen, that is not to say that women should not be treated like queens. Women should be, and I want everyone to hear this, treated like queens by their men. But women that are treated like queens should have and own the responsibility of acting like queens, not like spoiled brats, not like bitches, not like cats with long claws. When you are treated like a woman, when you are treated like a queen by your man, you should be responsible in kind, and you should treat him like the king he is. Because when there's a good man that treats you right, that treats you like the queen that you are, you have the very same responsibility to reciprocate and show him that he is the king that he deserves to be treated like. So that's all I'll say on that. But they have done everything in order to give the woman unequaled, unrivaled power in many regards. Yes, women still get beaten and abused, but generally those are the women that aren't the bitches, that aren't the ones with the claws, that aren't the one that have agendas. Those are the ones that actually need help. But that's another way that they have taken the power from men, and men have given it up equally. It's not women are at fault or men are at fault. We're all equally to blame in this problem, because we are allowing them to manipulate our power struggle and give us unequal power, or powers that wouldn't otherwise be natural. Because in a natural world, ladies, the men are the roosters, and without any intervention, too many men, the women will perish. And too many women, the men will perish. There has to be a balance, and a balance requires maturity. A balance requires you to take ownership of your own actions. Ladies and gentlemen. The other way that they are manipulating our population is through family planning, healthcare. They're teaching women to take ownership, to take pride in their body is their body. If your body is your body, now, this is a trigger alert. This is not going to make a lot of people happy. But if your body is your body, then don't recognize that it's your body after you've used your body like something that holds, you know, those trays that hold an oil change. Don't use it like that. If your body is your body and you can do with it what you want, then take ownership for what you used it for. And women have a very different responsibility with their body than men. Yeah, I know. I'm going to be paying close attention. Are you the one? Are you the one? Are you the boss? Are you the boss? Maybe he is. So that made me, I really was thinking, because I think I was procrastinating to make this decision. But as I was procrastinating, I was also turning over my responsibility to this hen house. And with a heavy heart, I realized I just need to make the decision, and it's been made. A rooster must go. But because I'm not a psychopath, I'm not doing it to benefit me, which they are. They're doing everything to manipulate us and to orchestrate that, you know, we're being sick because of this we're doing this and we're doing that. It's all our fault. It is to some extent our fault. But we are being manipulated into these things. And if we would just take a moment to understand that a farmer must know his flock, and a farmer must get rid of problems within the flock, you would understand that we, as a whole, are a problem. And each country, has its own owners or own shepherds, and each country has a role to play in the greater coop. So imagine that our whole world is one coop, and within that coop there is divisions of coops, so countries. And each country has a role, and each shepherd has a job to do within the big picture. He has, or she has, they have guidelines that they must stick to. My guideline is I want my girls to be calm. I don't want them to be gang tackled, which is what they're being, because one rooster is trying to dominate all the roosters, and because the roosters are then trying to dominate the hens. But we need roosters and we need hens. And I'm not sure if this is making any sense, but I'm trying to work through it as I'm sort of gaining the courage to finally mark the one that's gonna go. And I have to say that people, if they are humans, because there's a lot of people arguing that our masters are not even human. I mean, the green agenda, the zero carbon emissions. Y'all, I know that they're dumbing us down. I know that we're not learning what we should learn. But y'all, I just want you to know that we need carbon to live. Trees, plant life, chickens, roosters, we all need carbon to live. So what's the deal with the zero carbon? And if you are buying this, I don't know what to say except I'm gonna have some more coffee. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that that's absolute just like crazy talk, what I'm saying? Or can you see that we are literally being led down a path that has been manipulated, that has been very well crafted? And now we're going into a time where, look around you, how many people are sick? How many people are depressed? And how many people are lost? And we've never been in a more convenient, more accessible to everything kind of place in history. Kings, hundreds of years ago, did not have the wealth and the literal ability to access everything as we do. Just think about it. And we are, in history, as a people, never have we been this unhappy. Look around you. Look how many people, how many of your friends are just unsatisfied, unhappy, running around, lost, either on some sort of prescription medication, or they're in Canada. Most people are on cannabis. That is a medication. Most people are drinking themselves into a stupor every day so that they can get through life. Why? Why are we not happier as a society? Why are we going into the ground of unhappiness? Why are we not just thrilled with gratitude and just happiness? We should be overflowing, but we're not, because we're a sick society. And I would argue because we are being pushed and pulled into directions that aren't natural. So balance is one of the hardest things to maintain, I would argue. Like, my coop is unbalanced, and they can't seem to balance it out, and they will, because some... What's going on? Who's crying? Just 1 second. Who's crying? Yes, I'm coming. Who's crying? Who is it? I don't know which one of the girls are crying. But anyway. So, I guess that's all my meanderings for today. I think that I've had a few thorny thoughts there. I'm sure people aren't going to be very thrilled. In fact, I noticed, I think I'm already pissing people off. I noticed that I had one subscriber unsubscribed, so I'm sorry to have seen you go, but it's better this way. It's better to cut your losses and have a more balanced, I guess, friendship with people that really kind of are open to listening to your opinion, because I have to listen to people's opinions, and I don't often I don't agree with their opinions. But I'm gonna have to end this because I wanted it to be short and I didn't quite get there, but it is what it is, right? So I hope your Sunday is going better than mine. I hope that you're able to wear white and colorful patterns. And oh, I'm starting my little store online. It's I'm starting with Poshmark. There's this thing called Poshmark. I know this is a shameless plug, but it's called Retro Remix. That's going to be my little store. I still haven't learned how to update all of the pictures, but I'm learning that. And yeah, check me out. And hopefully I will start something where I will be able to showcase some outfits, and that way it'll be a little bit easier for you to follow. Oh, that's not attached. That's not attached. Okay. Yeah, some of my hairs are falling out. And like I said, I hope your Sunday is a little less complicated than mine. I hope you can rest. I hope that you are able to enjoy your family. And I want you to think about what is going on in our society and how possibly we are being also chosen and slotted for perhaps moving in the direction of life or moving in the direction of, well, the opposite of life. And I want you to think about all the things that have happened in the last 4 years where healthcare has been weaponized in many regards. Our relations between human to human contact has also been very much weaponized. And for what reason, if not for more control and lessening or thinning the herd, I would argue. Because there's a lot of people saying to me, you know what, there's a lot of people sick, a lot of young people that are sick. It's a thorny thought, but I'd like you to consider thinking about it, because I don't think I've ever seen people getting this sick, even at the height of the, Operation C. All right. I haven't really said much. I'm procrastinating. I don't want to make this decision, but I know I have to. So, I hope that wherever you are, you have better weather, because it's freaking freezing here. It's like freezing. I'm shivering. And it's June! It's June! Oh my God, it's June 1st. I just realized it's June. We're in June, and I moved to the Arctic where it's June and a sweater is not enough. Anyway, oh my gosh. I can make myself laugh if I think about it. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this, and if you have anything to add, let me know what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think that we're being treated like a herd? Which I truly believe we are. And to what end? And how do you think it's going to end? Because at some point, there's a way to go to it. And if you can, and it doesn't cost you too much, please subscribe if you don't mind. Hit the bell button, because it helps. Like, now I realized that all of the people that I like, the way that I'll get them is if I press the bell to all, and then anything that they post, I get. So please, because I'm trying to be active on my shorts and all of that, and I mean, it's a learning curve for me, so I'd appreciate it if you could help me out. And that's it. So I hope you have a great day, and until then, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.